I discovered the International Alliance of Holistic Lawyers as a result of having read a book by Keeva called Transforming Practices. I believe that there are thousands of lawyers out there who went to law school and became lawyers because they truly believed that it was a calling for them so that they could make a difference in other people's lives. And I believe that the vast majority of those lawyers, once they became practicing attorneys, became disillusioned, disappointed, and many of them gave up practicing law because they didn't think there was another way to practice. And I believe that because Stephen wrote that book, many of us were encouraged by his book to reignite our interest in practicing and to rediscover our passion for the purpose for which we became lawyers and to move forward and to rededicate ourselves to being constructive, contributing members of society and potential catalysts for positive change. And that, but for Stephen having written that book, many of us might not have rediscovered our purpose in life.
Oh, I am well aware of Steve Keeva and Transforming Practices. Steve has been an inspiration for years. I remember reading his columns, and I'm sad that they're not there anymore. They used to be in the Florida Bar News regularly, and they were the fresh air in the midst of all the administrative material and even the pro bono material. It was Steve who really talked about the humanity of lawyers and what lawyers need in their lives to keep them refreshed and nourished in order to do the work that we do. I think Steve's work has really impacted the profession in a subtle way and in a profound way, because it's Steve who under the auspices of the American Bar Association, who really opened the door to the conversations about the inner lives of lawyers and to the way that lawyers seek to fulfill those inner longings through their work. His book, The Transforming Practices, I think is it's beautifully written, he's a wonderful writer, but the information that he collected about the different ways, all the different ways that people found and are finding to integrate who they are with what they do is just very, very powerful.
Yes, Steve Keeva's had a large influence on me and my understanding of lawyers and what we could be doing in legal education, and he's had a huge influence on many of my students as well. Steve and I actually team taught a course several times when I was teaching in Texas. He was there by phone part of the time and then actually was present in the classroom with students for some of the time. I think Steve is such a wonderful storyteller, and what he does is he tells the stories of lawyers who have gone through changes in their own careers, who have decided that they want their practices to be meaningful and have found ways to make their practices meaningful. His book, Transforming Practices, is one that I've used as a text for some of the courses that I've taught, and then I've also given it as gifts to lawyers that I know or to students who want to become lawyers or students who are graduating and becoming lawyers. What I really like about the book, Transforming Practices, is its variety. Steve's a wonderful storyteller, and he tells the stories of a variety of lawyers so that almost everybody who's read the book finds somebody in the book that they can identify with. I think the way in which he focuses on the changes that people can make in their lives to make a real difference is important. I think a lot of lawyers don't feel that they really control their lives. And the work that Steve has done, I think, shows examples of lawyers who've taken control of their lives, who've decided to practice law in a different way, to have different kind of relationships with their clients, and that's very good modeling for students and for lawyers. I think he's made a huge difference.
Steve Keeva, what an incredible person, what an incredible writer and presence in our movement, and I mean, just to meet him. I think I met him at the first IAHL in Marathon in '99. He's one of those people that when he would step, I remember him, I just have this picture of him stepping into the middle of the circle at the IAHL conference to speak, and just his presence and the way he is, and then he would start to talk, and you just would stand there just listening to these incredible words come together and roll out of his mouth, and just think, I've never heard anybody put words together like that. I mean, they're just, he can express things so beautifully, and you know, you've thought the thoughts, but you didn't articulate them like that, you know, and then you'd hear him explain it, and you'd think, yes, that's exactly right, exactly what I was thinking, and how did you say that like that? And for him to, you know, to adopt the movement, adopt us, you know, all, and work so long and so hard, and to be willing to put these ideas in the ABA Journal, you know, month after month, and to profile. He's profiled so many important people in the ABA Journal. I mean, you know, John McShane, Arnie Hers, Rick Halpert. Those three, you know, were ones that I used in my class. The Steve Keeva articles in his book are, I think, life-changing for the legal profession in the United States. Life-changing for the whole profession. I think the whole profession has pivoted on a lot of his writings and his work and his thoughts. What a gift. What a gifted person. Gifted, but also, you know, with such a heart. Yeah.
Everyone loves and cherishes Steve Keeva. He's done a wonderful job during the years when he was an editor of the ABA Journal. I think he got many of us to write articles and to be the subjects of articles that really pushed Steve's vision of new lawyering, of how to transform law. Of course, that's the title of his book, Transforming Practices. And he was talking about the sort of felt need that many in the profession experienced about the unsatisfactory nature of law practice, and people striving for new ways, for different ways to practice that were more satisfying, more professionally and personally satisfying, more in line with their spirituality. And I think his book was itself transformative. And so I knew Steve in those years. I'm proud to say that I wrote a book jacket blurb for Steve's book, Transforming Practices. I haven't read that blurb in many years, but I think I called it, you know, a good example of therapeutic jurisprudence in action. And I think Steve made an enormous contribution during his years with the ABA Journal, and as an author of that very important book that has really paved the way for the transformation of our profession. We all owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to Steve for that, for helping to point us in the right direction.